Hi, today we're going to be making Nuna felted stones. They are very soft and cushy at the same time, and I believe they release stress because they're very pleasant to touch and play with. So they look like like real stones, and just they all completely made out of wool. So, and I'm going to go ahead and explain to you what materials we're using. So in this case, I'll be using some local upstate wool. It doesn't have to be 19 microns as usual. It can be a little more heavier, 20, 21. Even some wool with a texture is okay. Something like this. Which is going to give you extra texture on your wool. I'll be using, for example, some pieces of a light wool just for making the lines right here. So, and I go and show you exactly how to do that. What else? We need gloves. Because gloves, it's easier to work with gloves, and plus you can protect your hands from the soap. And of course, we need the soap. So this is liquid dishwash soap, which that's why it's good to have your gloves on when you're working with it. Also, for the feeling, we're going to use, basically you can use any polyester feeling, but I kind of like this one. It's also polyester, but with a touch of natural fibers. So it's pretty dense. So you don't need a lot of it to fill it up the stone, because inside is that material. And also when we need some kind of the small dish or tub or whatever you have to mix the soap in the warm water, and you'll see we'll be working in it with a stone, like kind of submerging it into the liquid and working with that. Also, this is like a mat, for like a dish mat. So it has a little texture, and that you would work on your stone, just giving more touches and connecting fiber even better when you rub against it. And then this I use to smooth, in the final touch, to smooth my stones, because sometimes see the wool still shedding from it. So to smooth it, so you can use that or a ceramic one. In materials, we also need this simple tool for needle felting. So I usually work in Nuna felting, which is just water and soap, but in this case we would need that. And if you have like just a single needle, it's fine too. It works. See this needles here? So they're helping to tuck in the wool in the places where it's supposed to be. So now we're gonna form the stone itself. So we're gonna take some polyester feeling and form it as a ball, and you can make the size bigger or smaller. So if you need a bigger one, you just can add a little more on top. So then we're gonna form a ball and make sure it's kind of smooth and more or less round. And then we're gonna secure that with a yarn. And tighten the yarn all over the place and just keep the form. So you don't have to worry about this yarn opening up, because it's going to be inside the wool. It's going to be secure. So you don't need much of the yarn, but it just to keep all this polyester in shape of stone, and you can make it more flat or more round. It's up to you. And then you don't even have to secure the end of the yarn because again it will be inside of wool. Just form a nice ball. I choose some natural color wool, which is resemble a lot colors of the stone, like light gray, a little darker gray, medium gray. So I'm gonna start laying the pieces of wool horizontally, and I'm gonna do it first in one direction, overlapping each previous piece, so to make connections stronger and binding between wool stronger. So the piece is not that big, so you have to basically make some piece of felt which is going to cover your polyester piece when you kind of roll it into it. So I'm just going to add some also colors, slightly yellowish color, so just resemble a real texture of the stone, because stone is never all the same color. It's all different colors and it's all different shades. And using now lighter color, lighter gray, and going different direction. Now we're going vertically. The same idea, each previous piece overlap the piece before, so the wool would bind together and create the fabric surface. So we just making sure that we have enough wool so we wouldn't end up with any holes, and press wool softly just to check if it's the same thickness on the whole entire surface. So now we're gonna have that piece. It's kind of loose, but if you see any potential holes, add a little more wool, and then we're going to put our polyester ball, and we will wrap it in the wool tightly and make sure that you would have no holes. So spread the wool evenly so you wouldn't have any pieces which you can see through, and then use the Nuna felted needle, either one needle or if you have this 3 needles together, and tuck the wool in the place so it stays together, and it forms like, now this ball is completely covered by wool. Again, any loose pieces of wool, you can still tuck it in. Now we're going to decorate our rock, and going to make it look more like rock. So we're going to use very small pieces of white wool and kind of wrap it around, so resembling the lines on the rock sometimes we can see. And the same with black wool also. See, like I'm thinning it out to almost like nothing, and then very softly wrapping it around. Don't worry, this doesn't look very natural now, but it will when we're going to work this texture in the body of the rock. So sometimes the line can be kind of disappear, but if you want to make them more visible, you can add a little bit more wool. So something like this, but be creative. Don't try to be perfect, but also it will be nice to add a little texture sometime. Again, like rock is not going to be exactly solid, the same color. So I'm spreading this like spider web of dark wool over my rock, and you'll see it will create like very interesting texture on the surface. Now we're gonna work our rock into the soapy water. We just have warm water, and we dilute some dishwash liquid soap in it, and start very gently rubbing that liquid in. First, to submerge the whole entire rock under the water and make sure that's the water gets right through this. Adding a little bit of soap in the process and make it easier to fibers to combine together. But again, start softly, and then when you feel like the fibers start grabbing together, you can add a little effort, more force to it, and just form your beautiful rock. This is, like, first of all, you see how different they are. This one is already done, and see how much smaller. This one is before we deepen in the soapy water. So the wool shrinks and the stone becomes smaller. But how to get to the final point when your stone look like more finished and smooth? So after we mend it in the warm water with soap, we collect all the stones we did this, all the rocks we did this time, and we put them in the washing machine. Don't add any soap, don't add any soap because we already have enough soap in them. So the idea is get rid of the soap which already in the stone, and also shrink them a little bit more and mend the wool together better. So after 1 hour, they come out something like this. So they're pretty smooth and start, reminding us a little bit more of real stone. So then you have a choice to connect them together, to maybe hang them because they're pretty light. So it's your imagination what you want to do with this project. Okay, so I wish you good luck, and hopefully you're going to enjoy this project as much as I do, and enjoy your final products.